here we go, the 61st country, Peru. I flew from Galapagos to Guayaquil, and then on the same day I took an overnight bus, took me to the border between Ecuador and Peru. And after that I took another overnight bus from the border to Lima. When I arrived in Lima, I haven't got any people who can host me, and also I'm not very interested for the capital. So continually, I took another overnight bus, which is like 22 hours, and the road, it's the mountain road. So I was so much suffer from the motion sickness. Actually, the bus was not bad. I mean, they offer onboard service, offer food, and the seat can change into 180 degrees to let you sleep, but still I was vomiting all the time. And then when I reached Cusco, I was super weak. After I get off from the bus, I couldn't even move. So there's one woman came to the bus station trying to look some guests for her own guest house, and she saw me, and then she just asked some local for some alcohol to put that between my nose and my lips, tried to clear me up. And after that I was super weak, not even ready to search the hostels or guest house in Cusco. So since that lady is a guest house owner, I just followed her. She offered me a room, a private room, but she charged me for a bunk bed price, and because she told me I needed to rest. And I totally agree. And I was so much suffer because after without eating for so long, and also keep vomiting, that made me almost dehydrate. But before I fall asleep, I feel like I have to, get something into my tummy. So I used my last power to go to a small shop, got some rice, and then came back to the guest house to cook myself some porridge. I still remember I rested like almost 1 week in Cusco before I made my way to Machu Picchu, because, first, I really need to rest, and second, Machu Picchu it's a really high altitude area, so I have to be careful. And after that, I made my way to Machu Picchu. I took a minibus from Cusco. It takes like 7 to 8 hours. And after that, I track about 3 hours up to the Agua Caliente town via the train track. And then I stay in the town down below the Machu Picchu for one night. The next day I took a bus, and then of course I got to see the lovely Lima. And actually the weather is changing in Machu Picchu, but still I enjoyed my stay. It's like wow, that's so much impressed. One of the 7 wonders in the world. And after I returned from Machu Picchu back to Cusco, I decided to stay in Cusco for the Christmas, because I don't want to travel during the Christmas. It might seem very busy for the transportation. And during the Christmas Eve, where I stayed in the neighborhood, they have like a salsa school. Basically every night it's like very noisy, and in my perception Cusco is never a quiet night city, and especially during the Christmas Eve. And then you just hear the fireworks, the celebration, the music. But I decided to go to bed early, and suddenly I heard something just hit my window in my room. And then in the beginning I tried to ignore that, but after that I feel like on my blanket there's like glass, so I just turned on the light and then removed the glass from my blanket, and I just saw smells like some bullet or something, but it's just like something just hit my window and the window broken. Anyway, So the next day is Christmas. The room I stayed, there's no bathroom, so I used share the bathroom with the dormitory. So I locked my room and then I went to the bathroom for shower. When I returned back, I lost one of my phone because I have two phones. One from my friend who gave to me for taking better photos. That's a better one. I was charging, and then another one, and then my passport was covered in the blanket. So the better one, which is charging, was missing, and I tried to tell the reception, but the reception doesn't speak much English, and then they suggest me to call the police. So I called, and then police came, took some photo, and then actually someone was suggesting the police to search the dormitories customers' bags, and then even the people who stay in dormitory, they agree that, but I didn't do that, and then police didn't do that. And after that I came with the police back to the police station for some details, and then they were typing a kind of Spanish report. I asked them if I can receive one of the report, and then they asked me I have to pay in order to get this report. Then I said no bother, and after that I just found out okay, there's hopeless to get my phone back. So I just decided to just let it go, and then it's Christmas, I'm going to treat myself, have a Christmas meal, yeah. After that someone told me actually who stole my phone was a guy who stayed in the dormitory. He's from Argentina, and they himself can't even pay the fee for the guest house, so his backpack was kept in the reception. And I met him during the Christmas day, I think. He was very skinny, accompanied with a dog, and he was holding like some handmade candles, trying to sell it. So, I think, it's during Christmas or Boxing Day, so I lost my phone. But for somebody, if that's something can help him, so it doesn't really matter. That's how I told myself. Perhaps it's a gift for him for Boxing Day, so I wish him can get a better price. And after that, I just booked myself a bus ticket from Cusco to Bolivia. But I also always believe that everything happens for a reason. And after that, I learned despite I'm going to shower, I still take my phone with me, and I don't leave the valuable things in my room. From that experience. And then in Peru, actually, there were so many chifa, which is kind of a Peru-style Chinese restaurant. There's always the soup and a lot of chicken. And actually, during my trip in South America, I was a little bit tired about chicken. Yeah, because I really want some other meat, but there's not that much option. And then, of course, the Chinese restaurant, it's totally different. It's always different for the Chinese food in China and the Chinese food overseas, but better than nothing. And the next time, I would love to go back to Peru and to visit some other part of Peru, because I was mainly in Cusco. And I enjoyed my stay in Cusco. I was there, for perhaps 2 weeks, more or less. And I haven't tried the Guinness pig in Peru, but I heard it's very yummy, and then the Peruvian cuisine is very famous. And then actually I don't know much, because when I was in Cusco, I was mainly cooking for myself. That's exactly the time I tried to cook for myself, because previously I was lazy, but at that time I needed to to rest, to get healthier. And so every day I went to the fresh market, get the ingredient and cook, and that's a kind of relax and before continue my journey. Thank you so much for listening the next coming episode that will be in Bolivia. So I should catch you up with the next one. Once again, thank you very much.